but those limits, it's a liberating place to operate because you can have real impact. I want to tell a little story about somebody who I admire greatly. This is one of my
Please.
peers here in Central Oregon, and her name is Megan French, and she has a farm in Bend called Boundless Farmstead. Megan, I think it was 7 years ago, she started an event here called Fill Your Pantry, and she had seen models of this done in the Valley of Oregon. And Fill Your Pantry is this bulk buy farmers market that happens in the fall. And so people who come are just, consumers who want access to local food. And you come and you buy food in bulk direct from your farmers and ranchers. And the idea is fill your pantry for the winter ahead. So it's your staples. It's your onions and your potatoes and your winter squash, your meats and your bone broths and your garlic and all the things that are going to store all winter long. And if you're lucky, there'll be a little bit of the last of the season's greens, your ferments, your soap, your honey, like it's all the
Amazing.
things from this area. And, the first year it was at this Grange Hall, it was a tiny little thing that we all did. And we all had our like little tables and it was just small and folky and it was great. And this last year, so year 7 of Fill Your Pantry in Central Oregon, took up this entire giant parking lot at the fairgrounds. There were thousands of people that came to buy local food to eat all winter long. I'm even willing to share numbers. I mean, on that single day, our farm does, between $10,000 to $15,000 of sales.
Wow.
And that's just our farm. So think about that multiplied between all the other vendors who are there. People come literally with their garden carts. Like people get serious about preparation.
Mm-hmm.
People pre-order. And so in 7 years, because Megan French was like, you know what, local food matters and I want to do this here. She started with this tiny event in the Grange, which now has this huge, not only like environmental impact in that you've got all these people who are going to be eating local food winter long now. You've got a totally different cultural connection and mindset.
Yes.
We now have thousands of people who think about how they're going to prepare to eat for the winter ahead by buying local. You've got a huge economic impact, both in the lives of the farmers who walk away from that event with more money for the winter. But when you buy in bulk at these events, you're buying food for far cheaper than you could ever get it at the grocery store. So you've got low-income people who can access the most nutrient-dense food possible through bulk buying. It's just incredible. That's one individual who just decided to do something, and the ripples of that decision are changing like the attitudes and the relationships between consumers and growers and local food systems in Central Oregon. And so that, right, to come back to like the liberation of operating within limits, Megan can't solve all of our food distribution issues, but this one decision in Central Oregon has made massive impact. And I didn't say this, and it's so worth saying, the emotional fulfillment both ways for a farmer and a rancher to see that sort of a show up on a snowy day in November, like that makes you feel appreciated and like you matter and your services to the world are valued. And when times are hard and agriculturalists can feel like shit, every possible thing is against us, like just that interaction at the end of the season can be the thing to fill the cup to keep going. And in the reverse, the consumer feels their sense of place. And then they are consuming their sense of place. The food becomes a part of who they are. That feedback loop for the consumer and what that might do for them. Like, don't be overwhelmed by the weight of the world and what the media will tell you about the burning of it all, because here's your place in it, and it's showing up at Fill Your Pantry, and your place is also to then go home and cook that food. And every time you grab a potato and an onion from your burlap in the garage and you start cooking, like it will bring a smile to your face because you will think about the Fill Your Pantry Day. You'll think about the conversations you had with your growers. You will feel this sense of connection to all of it. And it's just the most beautiful. For the words economics of peace to jump off the page and embody an experience, Fill Your Pantry and what Megan created is an economics of peace.